Hey everyone, so we are still talking about Viome. I think this is the sixth in the series. We already discussed some of the other Viome recommendations. I know all of them are on my YouTube page. They are not all on Facebook page, but I'm going to update them on Facebook and LinkedIn and such places. But today I wanted to specifically talk about um, the last part of the report. One of the things the report tells you about is meet your probiotic microbes. These are the microbes that are found in commercially available probiotic products that are also active in your sample. If there are no organisms listed, no probiotics will be identified in your sample. So it does give you a list of all the active probiotics in your gut. So I do have a lot of them. I don't even know if I will be able to pronounce their names: Bacillus coagulans, Bifidobacterium longum, Streptococcus thermophilus. They are color coded P and B. My active microbes. So it gives you a list of active microbes and things like that, which is probably pretty informative if you are if you already have the knowledge of the subject matter. I don't know what each of these microbes do. We will talk about food recommendations shortly, but it also explains the Viome methodology. Microbial total RNA is extracted. Ribosomal RNA molecules are removed from the total RNA, and the remaining RNA molecules are sequenced on Illumina Next sequence or NOVA sequence. And proprietary bioinformatic algorithms are used to perform the taxonomic classification and functional analysis of the sequencing data. The food sensitivity test measures all four classes of IgG body antibodies. I don't even know what the IgG means. Antibodies to reactive to specific foods during and using an ELISA method. It also lists the method limitation. Viome's results and recommendations are based on our ability to identify and quantify thousands of microbial taxa. Such vast diversity has not been captured in a genomic database, so it is impossible to assess it comprehensively. Detection of microorganism by this test does not imply having a disease. Similarly, not detecting a microorganism of this test does not exclude the presence of disease. So one of the things it identified for me was I do have blueberry plant virus, tomato plant virus, and there is one other virus I have in my gut. And the food recommendation for 90 days was I should not be eating blueberries and tomatoes for 90 days. But it does typically take 4 or 5 weeks of not eating that food in order to starve that virus out of your system. I do not think I have read this on a Viome literature or the Viome book, but it was probably listed on someplace else where I read. But let's go over the food recommendations. So I usually use my smartphone to grocery shop these days. Uh, I have added so many new foods to my I have added so many foods to my daily uh, diet that I have never had eaten before. So I think I did discuss some of the foods to avoid. I'm going to discuss the supplements that it asked me to supplement recommendations. One of the recommendations that Viome tells you is supplement recommendations. So it asks me look for the supplements with the following: L. acidophilus, Bacillus coagulans, Bifidobacterium strains, Longum lactis bifidum, and FOS. So it did say that that bacteria was active in my microbiome. So I am not sure why it is asking me to take probiotic supplements with that supplement, with this kind of uh, bacteria. This supplement is offered by, and then it lists the name of vendors. Next, polyphenols. Look for the supplements with the following ingredients: red fruit powder blend with fiber. This is to promote the beneficial microbial diversity and richness and boost the anti-inflammatory activities for optimum host microbiome interaction. So they did diagnose me with inflammation. My inflammation marker was bad, and I don't know if it is related to my scoliosis and the chronic pain that I am in from scoliosis, which is probably a topic for another live feed. Prebiotic. So out of the three, this is the only supplement I have added because I have had taken probiotics recently, and somehow I wasn't able to figure out which red fruit powder blend I wanted. The prebiotic supplement, fiber with oligo fructose enriched inulin. This supplement is offered by Prebiotin or other vendors, and I did end up buying the one from Prebiotin. I take it a few times a day in a small glass of water, and it tastes pretty good. So this supplement was suggested to help specific microbes in your gut produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate and other beneficial nutrients that can balance the microbiome or counter some of the pro-inflammatory or opportunistic activities. So it looks like all of the at least the two out of the three supplement recommendations that I have are to counter or are to help with inflammation. So that is good. I think I've been feeling good from taking the prebiotic fiber with oligo fructose enriched inulin or the prebiotin supplement. So those are the supplement recommendations. Let's look at superfood recommendations. So the easiest available superfood I have was probably apple, um, and black beans, black eyed peas, cranberry because it is in season right now, ginger, olive oil and olives, papaya, pumpkin seeds. Some of the other recommendations I had were turmeric. Turmeric is easily available. Turmeric, sweet potatoes, sunflower seeds, sauerkraut, sage, raspberry, radicchio, oregano, Jerusalem artichoke. That also has that additional fiber. So I don't know that. Let's see. It also tells you why it is recommending you a certain food. So Jerusalem artichoke is a superfood for your microbiome. Jerusalem artichoke contains inulin, which is a prebiotic. After analyzing your microbiome and taking your data into account, it has been determined that Jerusalem artichoke in your diet will be helpful for you. Inulin is converted by microbiome to produce butyrate. Studies indicate that inulin increases microbial diversity, prevents constipation, helps manage weight, regulates blood sugar, and aids with gastrointestinal distress. Additionally, the analysis of your data predicts that you are unlikely to have an increased blood sugar response to Jerusalem artichoke. So I did have that good marker that I metabolize sugar very well. So that probably that's why I am allowed to eat the sweet potatoes and Jerusalem artichokes and things like that. So so not only does it recommend the superfood, it also tells you why you should be eating that food. For example, ginger. I bet it has something to do with the anti-inflammatory properties of ginger. But let's go through it. Ginger is a superfood for your microbiome because it contains gingerol, which is a polyphenol. After analyzing your microbiome and taking the data into account, it has been determined that ginger in your diet will be good for you. Gingerol and other polyphenols is metabolized by your microbiome. Research shows that once converted by microbiome, gingerol reduces inflammation and improves digestion. So that's a good thing. I already eat a lot of ginger. Onion and garlic were minimized for my microbiome. So, let's look at some minimize or avoid foods because I am really curious why. Let's look at some avoid foods. Yeah, avoid. Okay. Blueberry is an avoid food, and like I said, it was due to the blueberry plant virus. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage are all my avoid foods. I do have sauerkraut um, as a superfood, so that's just fermented cabbage. So maybe fermented upon fermentation they are all okay. But let's look at why broccoli is one of my favorite foods. So let's see why is it. Broccoli is a void for your microbiome. Broccoli contains glucosinolates, which has been shown to impair the absorption or utilization of essential nutrients if it is not degraded by specific microbes. So apparently, I don't have microbes that degrade um, glucosinolates, whatever those are. I have to look that up. An analysis of your data indicates that avoiding broccoli will be beneficial for you. Avoiding broccoli may improve your sulfite gas production pathways microbiome score. I do not remember why this microbiome score needs to be improved, but it did have it on my. I remember reading about it that it is on my improve microbiome to improve or markers to improve list. Let's see. Coffee was a big avoid. Coffee was an avoid for my microbiome, and I haven't been able to avoid it yet. I still get my caffeine from the black tea and coffee. Coffee is an avoid for your microbiome. An analysis of your data indicates that the catechols in coffee can be unfavorable to your microbiome and your gut integrity functions. So that is why that was a void. Lobster, mustard greens, tomatoes, and wild rice are all a void for me. Cucumbers are an avoid for my microbiomes. I have been avoiding it, but I love cucumbers. So let's see why it says cucumber is an avoid for your microbiome. Your microbiome contains cucumber, green mottle mosaic virus, which is known to infect cucumbers. Since plant viruses in the microbiome have been associated with an inflammatory response, it is recommended for you to avoid cucumber. So while that explains tomato, cucumber, and blueberries, I have all of the three viruses in my system. So it is asking me to avoid them. As to how do I prepare these foods, I should admit that I am eating a lot more vegetables after after upon following the superfood recommendations from Viome. All of these vegetables that I never or I rarely used to cook, but all I'm doing is I make a salad with apple, artichokes. I haven't learned how to cook artichokes yet, but I use the canned artichokes, or not canned, the ones that are in the bottle. So I use apple, artichokes, and olives as a base pretty much in all of my meals. Uh, on and off, I will eat. I add sweet potato to it. But other than that, I would steam asparagus. I would have a side of black beans. I use Instant Pot to make black beans from scratch. Um, Black eyed peas, chard, dandelion, cranberry, and fennel. I just chop them, use a little bit of olive oil. I shouldn't be using olive oil because heating olive oil is not good, but I haven't figured out an alternative. People said I could probably use ghee, and I haven't tried that, but I will because I do have ghee in my house. So just a layer of that and steam all the greens, chop them fine and steam them for just about 5 to 7 minutes until all the water evaporates and they wilt. But that's what I've been doing, and they pair really, really well with artichokes, olives, and black beans. I probably will do. See, I have taken some pictures, so I'll probably do a recipe series on them. I am not very good at documenting the recipes. I know some of I know I am myself addicted to tasty like videos, but I am not great at that by any means. So, but really, I just throw them in the instant pot and steam them, or throw them in a pan and steam them for 5 to 7 minutes. Season with salt and pepper, and that's pretty much about it. Also, the juice from the olives and artichokes, you could use that to season it too, because they're already pre-salted. So I don't have to really sprinkle a lot of salt. So that is, I think, the sixth in the series of Viome reviews. So far, I'm loving it. One of the other things I really want to put it out there is I was on a cruise last week, and of course, the cruise ship did not have all of my biome foods. There was no chard or radicchio or any of those things to be found. But I was able to get olives, artichokes, and apple, and I definitely ate them a lot, maybe with every meal or at least twice a day. Um, so that really helped. Eating only three out of all of the recommended superfoods. And how did it help? Uh, the last time I was on cruise, I probably put on 10 pounds. This time I may have put on some weight, maybe 3 or 4 pounds. But the other thing I'm noticing with Viome is I am not feeling as much bloating. And it may have something to do with avoiding the broccoli, cabbage, and some of the other avoid foods on my list. So that is all about Viome. I am probably going to retest. I am coming up at the 90-day mark, but I'm going to probably retest a little bit later than that, because almost for a month, it took me a while to get started with the recommendations, and I don't know how they would have changed. Um, how they would have changed in terms of the microbe, or in terms of the results, like how much would it have varied. But I definitely want to retest. I've been feeling great. So that is that. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, as always, put it out on the page. Visit the blog. It's https://eatplayfit.com. And yeah, just find me everywhere. I am probably active on all of the social media, but that was my recommendation or review for Viome. I am actually following the recommendations, and so far it has been good. So thank you for watching. Bye.